Welcome to the Prospecting Today podcast. We are joined with Colton Lindsay, who is like the guru of mindset when it comes to real estate and getting your head in the right space to handle what we're going through. And he's with the WGR Academy. And welcome, Colton. And I just want to get your expertise because I know you have really honed in on this skill of really teaching real estate agents how to get in the right mindset. So how do they apply that with what's going on right now? Because I've heard from a lot of real estate agents that they see opportunity in this moment, and then I've heard from others that are quite fearful.
Yeah. So my personal belief is there's nothing but opportunity right now. And it's like I told my team, we're going to make more money in the next decade than we've made in our entire lives. Okay. But here's the challenge is because there's so much opinion out there. There's so much media out there that facts are being confused with opinion. And opinion is breeding fear, worry, anxiety, doubt. We have to look at the facts. Schools are shut down. Hotels are shut down. Airlines are flying virtually empty right now. So this is creating a complete halt on the economy. And how the economy works is through spending. So if money's not being spent, the economy's dead. The economy's dead. People aren't making money. It doesn't mean money's gone right now. It's just pent up. It's just sitting on the sidelines, waiting to be spent. So on the other side of this, there's going to be a springboard. If we compare the last recession to this recession, we're going to springboard quicker out of this. But first analysis that I've heard of reports, we're probably going to see more than 20% unemployment, which that's depression level. Okay? So we get into depression level, that's a space of fear, anxiety, and the biggest word that comes up right now is uncertainty. No one really knows. I mean, everyone's questioning the government, questioning the media, questioning are we even being told the accurate information. There's theories going around that this is biological warfare possibly. They're trying to institute communism. They're taking our rights away. The virus isn't even that bad. But then there's the fear of the virus, that it's actually worse than it really is or whatever, right? So I say the first step, depending on where you're at, I'm beyond this step so far. I'm already executing what I call our COVID-19 business strategy. But the first step is to become the eye of the storm. Okay, you got to sit back and you got to get calm. Where people were 7 days ago, 14 days ago, they were reacting to their emotions. And so I look at it as there's like a giant storm going on. There's a giant tornado. Okay, it's like pigs are flying, chickens are flying, the stock market's crashing, deals are getting crashed, but then feds are dropping rates. They're announcing an update every day on what's going on. They're locking down California, no more cold calling in New York, right? It's a storm. And what the instinct is people want to try and outrun the storm. Yeah. And there's no way that we can outrun this storm. The other instinct is that we have to make sense of it. So you got to let go and think that you're going to outrun this. And you got to let go to think that you're going to make sense of it, because there's no sense to be made of it. Okay, But you just got to sit back and you got to start to observe. Taoism shows that oftentimes, some of the times, the best thing you can do is nothing at all. And I don't mean just sit on your butt and watch Netflix and eat chips and get fat. I mean you got to get calm. You got to get present. You got to get aware, and you got to create certainty in yourself to make your own decisions right now. You can't rely on President Trump. You can't rely on your governor. Now, yes, follow CDC guidelines. Follow your state health guidelines. Be smart. But you have got to step up and make decisions for yourself. So the best thing that you can do is if you had a routine before this started, a morning routine, a day routine, an evening routine, continue that routine. If you didn't have a routine, you got to begin one immediately, because that will create a sense of certainty and structure in your life, because it gives you that next step to look forward to. There's three things you got to surrender through this. One is you got to surrender control. You have no control. You have no control of the economy. You have no control of what's going on with the pandemic, the shutdown, any of that. So surrender that. Second thing you got to do is you got to surrender comparison. You got to surrender comparing on how other people are responding. I mean, yeah, it irritates me when people are partying on the beach in Florida, especially since I have a friend currently right now that's in induced coma on a ventilator trying to survive this in Orange County, okay? Because that spreads it. But I have to surrender how other people are going to react or respond, and I can't judge that, okay? All I can do is be in my space. And the third is you got to surrender the destination. Everyone's trying to predict how we're going to get through this, right? We hear phrases like on the other side of this. There is no other side of this. There's only this. There's only here. So surrender trying to be there and be here and be calm. And as I've done that, I was then able to go through actionable items of creating, okay, what is the outcome I want to create? Why is it important to me? And what are 3 to 5 actions to move forward? Okay, so I'll tell you what I did. First of all, I canceled all my schedule. Okay, and I started creating new meetings with the top leaders in my local industry and my national industry so that I could gain facts and perceptions, and I could grab information, and I could disseminate it, and I could begin to make decisions based on real leaders. Okay, then I created my actionable items, and I got to work. Today, my schedule's full. I got more people joining my programs in my academy than ever before. But that's because I created a sense of leadership, a sense of lighthouse, a sense of certainty. So if you're a real estate professional, what you have to be right now is you've got to be that lighthouse. You've got to be that space of certainty, and you've got to get yourself there first.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is, like you said, just the surrender of it all. I think that a lot of people can really connect with that right now as they're quite fearful. I've heard some agents say, I know you brought up the New York thing and no longer telephone prospecting there, but I've heard some agents say they've never had so many people pick up when they telephone prospect with all of us self-quarantined. So there might be a lot of opportunity there as well.
Yeah, so here I think there's a ton of opportunity. I think the first opportunity is with your network, your sphere of influence, your past clients, reaching out to them by telephone and by text message, and then scheduling 15, 20-minute FaceTime conversations with them just to check in with where they're at. Not for anything to get anything out of that conversation except for to be a lighthouse for them and to be a space of certainty and a space of support. And they're going to remember that, okay? They're going to think, oh, how's the real estate business? You're in real estate, right? And then you're going to start to talk about the facts of real estate. You're not going to make it better, and you're not going to make it worse than it really is. The facts are rates are very volatile right now. They were 5.5% at noon on Friday, and they finished by 3.5% at the end of the day. Okay, that's the reality of it. The facts are, in most markets, inventories increased by 10 or more percent. Okay, those are facts. Facts are, depending on where we're at, we can't do open houses right now. Facts are, we're having people cancel because they're afraid. We're having buyers sit on the sidelines to see what happens. We're having sellers that want to get it sold quicker now. Okay, so you got to discuss the facts, and then if they have a reason to buy or sell real estate, you got to discover what's their motivation. And you have to start to get authentic with you and honest with them, because some of the best strategies for these people is not to sell. Some of the best strategies for these people are to actually refinance and reduce their mortgage payment. Some of the best strategies for these people are to contact their mortgage company and start to negotiate a forbearance. You've got to really understand where they're at, and you've got to be honest in what to do. It's not about you getting paid right now. And when you can trust, you're going to get paid. But there is some stewardship you got to take over your finances, okay? So I can tell you what the top leaders in my market are doing. They've cut their expenses off the top by 20 to 30%, just automatically. They're doing furloughs. They are reducing salaries. They're getting rid of expenses such as Zillow that they don't need. They're reducing their outgoing. Second thing they're doing is they're creating their oxygen tank. And write this down if you're listening. Cash equals oxygen. Okay? So you've got to identify where's all your liquid cash. The third thing that they're doing is they're discovering how can I continue to fill cash into my cash tank. Because you're really up in the night if you don't think that this will affect your cash flow. If you think this is going to pass in 2 weeks, you're blowing steam up your bum. That's just the reality of it. More than likely, we've never experienced a complete shutdown like this. This is a complete economic shutdown. Okay, so how the economy rose is through spending. Right now, there's less spending than ever before in our country. Okay, so on through time, as that train, the economic train gets going forward, the momentum's going to pick up quickly. But it's going to be like an hourglass. It's going to be a pinch in between it, and it's about how do you move through the pinch with elegance and joy and calmness and peace, not frantic and not panicking. Here's an example of how panic works. Stock market drops. People freak out. They sell their stock. They lose money on the downturn.
Right.
Me, in the last 2 days, I'm up 15% on my portfolio. Why? Because I made the moves to hedge my portfolio. It's the same thing in real estate, same thing in your business, same thing in your health, Same thing in your fulfillment.
Yeah, absolutely. This is all such great advice, and I thank you so much for sharing it with our viewers. I also noticed that you put out an opportunity for people earlier today. You were putting some information out there that you were going to hold off on, I think, into the fall or something, and you're going to actually start using it right now or offering it right now. Can you tell people about that, Colton?
Yeah, so we've been working on 90-day action plan, which is the idea is how do we get one or more new deals based on what we're currently doing. Our plan was actually release that later this fall, but what we're realizing is agents are freaked out right now. They're panicked or they're uncertain, or worse, they're pretending like nothing's going on. That's the one that we need to be worried about, is the one that thinks it's going to blow over, okay? Yeah. And so what we're doing is we're going to be releasing 90-day action plan that is a specific step-by-step how you can start to generate cash flow immediately in your business and how you can increase it and thrive through this economic time. Because we are looking at depression-level economy coming our way, whether you want to admit it or not. Okay, I hope I'm wrong on that. Truly, I do, Kim, and hopefully it doesn't get to that. But it's more than likely going to happen. And what's great about that is that's when business grows. That's when opportunity shines. That's when innovators take the lead. And here's the number one asset to have through the COVID-19 real estate market, and it's the number one thing in demand, and it's lacking in supply, is leadership. Mm-hmm. Absolute certainty that you know where you're going, and you've got a support system that you can rely on to get information. You disseminate it, and you act from your core. You've got to act from your core, though. You can't rely on someone else to do it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for telling us about that, Colton. And if people want to jump on board and learn that from you, how can they find it?
So the best thing to do is to go take my 5-level agents quiz. It's www.the5levels.com. So that's THE 5 LEVELS.com, the5levels.com. Take the quiz, and then I'll start sending you free information that will educate you on this current market and the pandemic and how you can thrive in this economy.
Oh, wonderful tips. Thank you so much for joining us, Colton. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.